Hey guys, Michael Furlong here from RentrollMaximiser, and today I'm on behalf, we're actually chatting on behalf of one of my co-foundation member, Mark, I don't even know how to say this, co-foundation member colleagues.
Co-founder colleague?
Co-founder? I don't even know.
Co-founder associate?
Associate of the Real Estate Resource Group.
Yes.
This was now, we're nudging nearly 2 years that we had that original lunch, but the Real Estate Resource Group, we want to just have a chat about, Mark, at the moment, obviously you're in the recruitment space, and I see this a lot. So you're in the recruitment, temping, staffing. Agencies are bleeding, absolutely bleeding at the moment. What's the biggest issue that many of the agencies have faced in the last, so even we've just looked at this year around the biggest issue, would you say staffing?
Absolutely. So it's twofold, really, Michael. You've got the interruption with COVID and all the mini lockdowns and things that we've actually had, and everything pushed on pause. Obviously, yes. That impacts leasing, inspections, auctions, all those things, the challenges around their businesses having to deal with that. But I think Victorians are becoming quite well rehearsed with that now. Then the next biggest issue is the falling out of particularly residential property management staff, Michael. So Leah Calnan posted an article a couple of months ago citing that 30% of Victoria's residential property managers are no longer, and as in they've exited the industry. And we've absolutely seen that reflected in the number of vacant jobs that we've been asked to recruit for from our clients all over Melbourne. So I think in 20 years recruiting the industry, Michael, I've never seen so many vacant portfolio management roles in Melbourne. So that's a huge challenge for them. I think the Residential Tenancy Act changes at the end of of March, plus COVID has just tipped some property managers that were probably burnt out before COVID even existed. It's just tipped them over the edge. So the falling out of staff has been what I've seen the greatest challenge for our clients all of 2021.
And then, Mark, is that just seniors? Is it mid-range PMs, or is it trickled down through into assistants, leasing, reception? Is it across the board, or just really the PMs?
It hasn't discriminated, Michael. It's really been across the individual, I think, and how resilient or how at the end of their temperament or tether that they actually were. And look, I haven't seen the same falling out in commercial property management, Michael.
Okay.
Now, whether that's different because it's more corporate commercial, it's not emotional like people's homes. Residential PMs obviously are dealing with people in their homes, and everything is personal, of a personal nature. Whereas commercial, I think, is a bit more, there was a set of rules the Ombudsman gave. There was a 30% turnover. So it was sort of different, a method in which you went through as a commercial PM to give commercial tenants rent relief. Was with Resi PMs that emotions attached, and whether that's just got to some of the residential property managers more so than commercial, as to why the falling outs happen greater there than commercial. So I know it's a long answer to your question, but it hasn't always been just somebody who's been a portfolio manager for 8 years that says, right, that's it. We've seen people that are younger that just haven't coped with the pressure, the extra workload, and the stress that's been involved with events of the last 12 months.
It's been horrific, and obviously that's a space that I work in, Mark, as well. And I look at the role in February, and then the role in March, the lead up to, and then you come into April. It's fundamentally a different role. It's very much around the compliance. It's very much around making sure you know your database, your clients. It's a lot of confrontation with owners that didn't want to adapt to the changes. And I must say that for some, wages aren't great compared to what they've got to put up with. Support isn't great from the office. Structure isn't great. The confrontation with their owners, their tenants. On top of that, you throw in 132 changes to the law. Any wonder that the people are bailing? Yeah,
it's just, to some people, it's been too much. I mean, some of my clients, Michael, and some of the outer areas have actually said that their landlords have thought too hard. I don't want to be a property investor anymore. List my property to sell, please.
Yes.
I've had a couple of my clients share that with me, where they've lost managements off their rent roll because landlords have said, nah, it's all the changes to the act are favouring the tenant far too much. This is all too hard to sell my property. I don't want to be an investor anymore. Absolutely. So you've got that going on as well.
And that's fueling the sales market. So, Mark, in a nutshell, is there a silver bullet is there something they can do straight away to fix it? And I know that you and I have had conversations for 15 plus years around the age-old problem, but I don't necessarily think there's a silver bullet to this problem. But what can an agency do in the short term to try and resolve some of their staff shortages? What is it that they need to invest, don't they?
Yeah, they have to invest. Look, there's no way around accepting the fact that the property management candidate short market's just not going to fix itself next Monday morning. We wake up and there's candidates available. And a lot of clients have, in the last 5 months, really have acknowledged and accepted, okay, we've got to do something different and we need to bring on board new blood into the industry. So whilst that's something they can do straight away, but then they've got to have the infrastructure and the resources available to them to be able to train new people and engage with programs that you and I are trying to launch, Michael, as well, because it's all very well to take someone from hospitality, but if you put them in an environment where the directors are sales orientated, it's a small rent roll, so they've only got 2 property managers. One of those property managers leaves, the other property manager is too stressed out to train someone with no experience. That situation is a disaster for all parties, including the landlord, me as a recruiter if I place them there, and the candidate themselves, because they won't get the training and the time put into them that they need. So if you are a large organisation that has several layers or tiers to your structure within property management, they're probably a lot less, what do you have?
Impacted? They're impacted
less? They're much better positioned to onboard new people and bring them in as a cadet, then bring them into an assistant PM, then a portfolio manager, then a senior, then a team leader, and so forth. And there's a career trajectory for candidates when they enter a business that has that sort of structure. I've been talking about this for 20 years about the need to bring new blood into the industry. So that's what companies need to go, right, that's what we have to do. You can do that now, but then you've just got to adapt and get a training program, an induction program actually worked out, or engaging external parties like yourself, Michael, to help with that process. Yeah, absolutely. It isn't an immediate fix, but that the problem today that they've got, if they'd spent some time 12 months ago investing then it would be a little bit better. So you can't fix today, but you can fix 6 months and 12 months by investing. Mark, it's been fantastic. Mark Appleby, Director of Buckmaster Hawkey. Is it buckmasterhawkey.com.au? Is that the website? That's right, yes. And just, Michael, we're celebrating 40 years this year. So we've just been doing some work with an overseas web developer and apps things to promote the 40 years that Buckmaster Hawkey first started in Melbourne. So, that's fantastic, Mark. I thought you bought the business when you were 40. So that makes you 80. Yeah, it makes me 80-something, yeah. Mate, that's brilliant. Michael. 40 years in an industry which is very tough, it's very competitive, particularly the Melbourne. Everyone, I know I say this, everyone seems to be able to go out there and think they're a consultant. It's the businesses that last and that go through the ups and downs. That's where you've got strength, not someone who can come in. Anyone can come in and find a job 5 minutes and then bugger off and do something else, can't they? Oh, it's exactly right, Mike. It's like your seasoned listing selling professionals. You know, they weather the bad property markets, GFCs, recessions, and storms. It's the order takers that drop out of residential sales when you go into those markets. So it's the same for Buckmaster Hawkey. We've weathered every property market and economy in the last 40 years you could possibly wish for, including COVID, and we're still here. So yeah. Congratulations, mate. Thank you very much. It's been great chatting to you, and I look forward to our next time we actually catch up together. Thanks, Mark. Thanks, Michael. Cheers.